BoogardMG. Haven't subscribed to Boogard, subscribe to him. This is how to escape each rank in Tekken 8. I am stuck in GARU rank / eliminator rank, so let's find out how to get out of it.
Going over every group of ranks and giving advice and improvement tips on how to work towards escaping these ranks. I've recently switched to Tekken on the PC, and because of that, I've had to rank up a whole new account from scratch.
Yikes.
Going through all the
That
ranks
sucks.
of the Tekken
I'm in red ranks, thank you,
I feel like
yeah.
I've learned a lot more about the overall improvement process and how each set of ranks differ from each other. So I thought I'd make a video.
You're stuck in the I'm not reinstalling rank.
And let's get into how to escape every rank in Tekken 8.
All right, yellow, orange
Yellow
ranks.
rank is where you actually start losing points. So basically,
Yeah,
this
it's
is
not
the
that
first
bad,
rank where
though.
competition actually starts.
Yeah,
Anyone
but
can get points and
yellow,
play the game,
yellow
even
ranks
if they
are
only
kind of
spam
easy.
one button. Because of this, there's some major inconsistency with the players here.
Are you?
Some of them will have combos down and will just be trying to actually learn the basics of Tekken, while some will just sit there in special style, spamming random moves. It's really just a coin flip. To escape these beginner ranks, you really just have to play the game and put in the tiny bit of effort outside of the game. And the most important thing to do here is to learn your character. Watch a guide on YouTube or watch a streamer or someone who plays your character. Through this, you need to figure out what your character's general playstyle is and what their best attacks are. And with these two things alone, you can start to build very simple but effective game plans and flowcharts to easily escape these ranks. Maybe with Jin, you play simple keep out with a strong forward 4, or with Paul's down forward 2.
Down forward 2, there it is.
In these ranks. Maybe you hit your opponent with a plus on block move like an electric, and you notice they always seem to press a button after. So you'll use these plus frames to throw out a counter hit and convert with a simple combo. I know it's hard, but you need to try not to overthink in these ranks. Very simple stuff like this will take you a long way. Basically,
blocking is going to be a big thing.
And what doesn't, and start to create
big thing in these ranks is just blocking, and it sucks.
And abuse them. No one will break throws in these ranks, so you'll get a lot of mileage grabbing all the time. If you have a
no one breaks.
These are also good in these ranks. Even if it's unsafe,
reversals are amazing.
Just focus on learning your character and you'll make it out of these ranks pretty easily.
Red ranks, here's where I'm stuck.
The majority of the player base
with Leroy.
To start to climb and eventually escape these ranks, you're going to need to do a little bit more than the average Tekken player. Now, there's two ways to go about doing this. The first way is the dark side, where we focus even more heavily on flowcharts, using whatever is available in our arsenal to win and beat unsuspecting players. Like the dark side, this is faster and the easier way to go about doing it, but it will set you back in the long run if your goal is to be a strong Tekken player. There's lots of players who just want to play for fun and win as much as possible, and if that's you, there's no judgment here. Not everyone cares about being really good at Tekken. If that does sound like you, then I highly recommend picking one of the easier flowcharty characters.
I want to be good at Tekken.
Jun, Law,
oh,
Asuka,
hell no.
Leo, Kuma, and Panda.
I don't want to pick any of those people.
I'm not saying these characters are cheap, but they
are
have
cheap.
access to a lot of easy flowcharts and options
they are cheap.
will not be able to beat if they haven't labbed the matchup. And these will help you a lot in the short term. And if you're already playing one of these characters and in these ranks, I highly suggest looking for outside resources like a character Discord. A lot of these Discords have some pretty nasty flowcharts and setups that you can learn and abuse in these ranks. Reminder though, if you decide to focus purely on flowcharts and cheesing people in these ranks, you will hit a brick wall eventually, so just keep that in mind. The second method is the one everyone will recommend when you actually decide to learn the Tekken fundamentals. Red rank is where you're going to need to start putting in a little bit of effort to understand the intricacies of the game. Spend more time blocking and watching what your opponent is doing. A lot of times, people in these ranks will not be thinking at all about what they're doing, and will reveal pretty obvious patterns. A little bit of thinking while you're in game will go a long way here. You can even try narrating out loud to yourself what's going on in the match and what you're thinking, like a streamer. This helps a lot of people. Just put a little bit more thought than the average player and you'll see great results. Focus on watching your opponent's character more than you look at your own. That always helped me a lot.
Yeah, because I don't do that at all.
Your character's best fundamental moves are.
I guess I should do that.
Strong pokes, counter hit tools, pressure tools, and strong lows. What helped me a lot here as well was focusing on whiff punishing. Most characters have a strong tool designed for punishing your opponent's missed moves. Find these moves and just move around. Backdash, sidestep. You can reference the sidestep chart for which way to sidestep. It helps me out a lot. And you'll find success. That's how I always go about escaping red ranks the fastest. Now, it does help to start to understand the other characters people in red ranks the fastest. It helps me out a lot.
Sidestep left. That's what I thought. Okay. That's usually the way I sidestep, so okay.
And you'll find success. That's how I always go about escaping red ranks the fastest. Now, it does help to start to understand the other characters.
Well, I never watch my opponents
that as well. But
character.
more in the other
I probably should do that more. I usually just I'm staring at the health bar or I'm staring at me to see what I'm doing.
Watch guides, watch lots of videos. You can watch pro players playing your character. There's always more to learn. You can go into your replays, although we'll talk about that a lot more later, and mainly just watch your opponents. Try and figure out patterns of what they're doing, and if you know the basic fundamentals of Tekken, you should be able to figure out in your mind how to beat them. Oh, this person keeps spamming a string that ends with a high, let me duck that and launch them. Oh, they keep running in and whiffing moves, let me use a whiff punishing move to punish them.
Yeah, that's another thing I do. I whiff a lot.
Will go a long way.
Ducks.
And pay attention to your opponent. If you've thrown 2 lows in a row and they haven't even remotely tried ducking, then maybe the player doesn't block low, so you can spam lows. Just being more attentive will get you so far in these ranks. I can't emphasize how important it is to just think while you're playing. Again, you can choose to avoid this by picking certain characters and continue abusing people's lack of character knowledge, but this will eventually hurt you. Any of you should be able to escape these ranks if you just put in the time, and it will take some time. Don't expect it to be an overnight change. Sorry to quickly interrupt this video, but if you guys are enjoying this and want to see more scripted, informative Tekken 8 content like this, please consider pressing that subscribe button.
Do it.
It's free to do, and it only
subscribe to Boogard.
Time. I really hate doing these plugs, but it goes such a long
way. No, he deserves it, man.
Algorithm and work towards my dreams of hopefully one day doing this as a full-time.
I can't believe he's not doing this as a full-time job already.
So much.
That's crazy. Every time he says that, I'm like, what?
The purple ranks are where things get a little bit
purple ranks.
But surprisingly, the skill difference between red rank and purple isn't too crazy. This is the rank where you're going to want to put way more stock into actively thinking about what's going on in your match. We touched on this concept in red ranks, but it becomes far more important here. It'll also be very beneficial to start looking into some of the more popular characters to figure out how to beat their punishable moves.
Ooh,
my biggest suggestion here is to use the replay system. Seriously, please use this. It's so good. I know you just want to keep tilt queuing until you start winning again.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch my replays.
When you start watching your replays, first and foremost,
find out where I screwed up
about your own playstyle. A lot of people just play and don't actually realize what they're doing mid-game. And if this sounds like you, then this is going to help you out a lot. Start putting some effort into figuring out why you're losing every game. In many cases, it won't actually be because of your opponents. You'll notice through watching replays that you're making a lot of mistakes constantly. Maybe you aren't holding back after your opponent heat dashes or heat bursts and you keep getting hit. Maybe you're autopilot mashing jab every time you think it's your turn and you're getting high crushed or ducked. Maybe you keep getting counter hit by your opponent's strings because you aren't patient enough and keep letting go of block and pressing a button.
And I do that a lot too.
Opponents abusing that.
But I found that out myself, you know.
Why? Now, for a lot of you, you're going to realize
good
you keep
combo.
getting the same thing over and over.
What?
Maybe you keep getting snake edge or keep falling for the same annoying Leo flowchart every round of the match. And this is where you're going to want to use the new replay feature that lets you take control of your character and just test things out. Maybe try sidestepping the move that keeps destroying you and see if that works. Maybe try crouch jabbing at a set.
Yeah, I gotta start doing crouch jabbing.
This game is that there's always a solution.
Because I screw up because they do a high punch and then I just don't even realize it. I just block it when I could just duck it.
To beat what your opponent was doing.
Why didn't I just duck?
Doing this whenever you lose, you're going to start to get a better idea of what's punishable on block and how to beat common gimmicks. And with this, you can start to formulate game plans. Maybe you realize that Nina players always try and get in your face and spam her stupid high-low-low strings.
They really do.
Okay, so with that in mind, what should you do? You should probably avoid letting her get in your face.
Now that I know that move is ridiculous, the electric punch for Kazuya,
keeps using this annoying while running too. Okay, well I'm going to stay back and sidestep to the left. Lily keeps using the tracking high.
Very punishable though if you manage to get away from it.
From far away. The majority of players here are not putting in this level of effort. Just try and learn something new every time you play and keep slowly building on that. Don't get tilted and watch your replays. You will see progress if you do these things.
I do get tilted.
The blue ranks are where quite a lot.
Here's where pizza's stuck. The blue rank
might not feel like that big of a jump for you, but the later ones really do. The skill difference I noticed between the first blue rank and the final one was huge. There's a good number of genuinely strong.
Oh, that's the main man using oh, that's why he could do the punch. He does the punch a lot.
Cheesers who are still neglecting to learn anything. But don't worry. This is
sweet. Thanks, Golden.
Start to hit a wall. And why do they start to hit this wall? Because this is where you are going to start learning matchups. I know you've probably got by so far avoiding this, but now it's time to actually lock in and focus on learning matchups properly. If you take on these ranks, having a good idea of what most of the characters here do will give you such an easier time.
Yeah, he's very
The
good.
characters you've been struggling against and start labbing. There's a ton of ways you can do
Dude,
this.
YouTube had a field day with me whenever I said that one move. He's just spamming that one move. Everybody was like, that one move.
Where they show you exactly how to beat all their annoying moves. This is very helpful, and if you want more specific counterplay advice for your character, you can watch streamers and pro players who play whichever character you're looking for, and just see how they deal with certain characters. Watching tournaments has also always helped me get a better understanding of how to beat certain characters. There's no one who does it better than
Angel
pro
boss?
players. I also highly recommend starting to learn other characters in these.
I don't know
ranks.
which one you're talking
It's the
about.
absolute best
The soldier
way to understand
girl?
a character. Two things can happen here. You'll get an in-depth understanding of the character you're learning, their strengths, their weaknesses, and, naturally, everything you need to know to beat them in the future, and this one is guaranteed. And the second
Yoshimitsu.
thing, you could find out that you
I've always thought he's really
find
cool.
a new secondary character to play for fun.
Yeah, not too long, probably like
I
two
absolutely hated
times, three
Steve in
times.
Tekken 7, but I eventually decided to spend some time learning him,
Yeah.
and he ended up being one of my favorite characters to play. I also started destroying Steve players. Learn characters.
Yeah,
learn
Steve
matchups,
is
you'll have
annoying.
A huge advantage over everyone. Focus on blocking more and figuring out what each character does in this game, what their general game plan is, what their best moves are, and you'll see a big jump in improvement. Keep watching replays, of course, like we said in Purple Ranks, and make an aim to always learn something every time you play, no matter how small it is. This is how you make progress in this game. I also
Yoshimitsu does.
every game as well. Look at the character you're fighting.
I mean, she's a tougher boss. I get it.
Chart ready before starting a match, and have a set of notes ready. When you're labbing other characters, consider writing stuff down for each character. I have a Google Doc with a basic punishable move.
That move right there, when they go low,
and I reference them while I'm loading up.
Takes half of your damn health.
It's worked really well for me.
Kuma and Panda can do it.
As long
It's
as you're
super
actively
annoying.
trying to learn, you will escape these ranks eventually. It'll just take time, as this is, in my opinion, the hardest color of rank to escape in this game.
Tekken King and Tekken
King
Emperor.
and Emperor are similar
Jesus.
to blue ranks in the sense that there seems to be a huge skill difference within these ranks.
How many players are within these
I like in
ranks?
Tekken King in the first part of Emperor, and then the second half of Emperor hits. I don't know if I'm alone in this, but I noticed a very significant increase in the average skill level around the second half of Emperor. I have not been able to make it past that point. You're gonna run into very good players here, and quite
Yeah, but you'll do fine. Just do what he told you to do. You know, pay attention, replays, blocking, learn characters, which you've been doing.
I can't give too much advice for escaping these ranks, as I'm still here myself, but I would like to give some insight as to what I'm currently working on and have been noticing in these ranks. These ranks are where the character starts to matter slightly less than the player. You will see a lot of Jins and Dragonovs here, but they're all going to play quite differently, which means you need to start focusing on beating your opponent rather than the character. Mind games are naturally very important here, where you'll pay attention to timing and player habits and try and actively outplay your opponent. Immediately when you start your match, pay attention to your opponent. Try and figure out what kind of player they are. Are they hyper aggressive?
Oh yeah, I did that one game. I faced an Asuzina
Stuff like this
right
is
here,
crucial here.
and I found out she was super aggressive, and I was like, okay,
but
so then I'll just block until you stop hitting, and I got you.
Block high.
Lots of punishes.
To sidestep a lot, or conditioning them not to sidestep so you can use your linear moves. Just being very aware of everything that's going on during a match.
Did you like that Tekken 8 short, huh?
Every time you do something,
It was funny. I liked it, but didn't care for it. I showed her. She's like,
whatever.
She didn't know. She doesn't get it.
From your opponents. High-level Tekken is a game of tugging on these strings back and forth to make reads and implementing mind games on your opponents. That's what I've been working on understanding. Trying to understand
It was the Tekken 8
aspect of high-level competitive Tekken.
grab breaking.
This is
Yeah,
way too complicated for a beginner video like this.
but you'll learn it.
Enough interest, maybe I'll make a video on this in the future. And yeah, that's about all I've got for today. I'm definitely not a pro player or a coach, but I just thought I might be able to help some people by sharing what
Well, I appreciate Boogard.
I really
Hopefully,
hope I was able to do so.
I can get out of blue
You're
ranks.
currently in and what you've been struggling with. I'll be down there chatting with you guys as always and might be able to help you out. Or you can join my Discord server, where I'm always active in answering questions if you want to ask something more specific. Make sure to like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, I want to give a very special shout out to my YouTube members and Patreon patrons. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys later. Take it easy.
You too. Subscribe to Boogard. I'm in red, you're in blue. Or did my dyslexia hit? Anyway, hopefully that helps me get out of the red ranks, and I'll be able to move up, get further, be a Tekken god. Probably not. I'm always trash and garbage, but I hope that I can. Good video.